Hi, and welcome to the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant. I'm your host, Tiffany Parson, and you're watching and listening to episode number 272. All right, I'm just sharing a story today, an experience that I had. And hey, it's Memorial Day weekend in the United States. I hope you're taking some time away from your computer and getting out into the sunshine, or getting out into the cloudy day, getting outside and having some fun. But before you do that, I just want to share something with you. As I was thinking about what to talk about on the podcast, this would not leave me, so this is where we're going. So last night, my husband and I attended a business event. It was a mix of networking and training. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. At the end, it felt like a challenge. We were challenged with giving a testimonial right there on the spot. And there was a QR code on the screen, and the presenter wanted everybody to scan the QR code and go ahead and fill it in and do a video testimonial. And it was really about us being uncomfortable. And he was like, yeah, I know y'all are uncomfortable right now. Some of y'all don't want to do it. And you're hesitating on doing the video. That was me. He was straight talking to me because I'm like, oh, what am I going to say? What do I look like? All these things. And he was like, this is why if I go to your Instagram, there's nothing on your Instagram because you don't want to get uncomfortable. And I'm like, shots fired, all on my toes. So I went ahead, did the testimonial. I just, took a deep breath, gave the video testimonial. It was really cool how it was done. But anyway, did the testimonial. I did not press to watch the replay, review it, because I know if I review it, I'm going to critique it. And so I just sent it on. And if it's not right, because, hey, it's a testimonial, there's no right or wrong. If they don't like it, guess what? They won't use it, and it's okay. But I felt so uncomfortable, you guys. I felt so uncomfortable. And then as we were leaving out, the videographer stops my husband and I, and the videographer wants us to do a testimonial with his camera. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my husband is the extrovert, although his energy level was getting low at this point. So I knew, but it was higher than mine. This was a 3-hour event. And so I was like, he's the chatty one. So I put it on him to do the testimonial. And y'all, this morning I am praying with every part of me. I am praying that none of the videos get seen. I am, because I don't know what they look like. What were we saying? I don't know. But it was an excellent event. It's called To the Carpet. So much so that I was like, you know what? I'm going to share it with my peeps on the podcast. And just, it was just right on time, because we are not uncomfortable enough. I am not uncomfortable enough. Always over criticizing. Are you over criticizing yourself? Like nitpick. When I was thinking about, doing talking about the testimonial video and not hitting the replay, because I know I would have looked at, okay, did I have lipstick on? Did I have gloss on? Was there a strand of hair out of place? Did I have something in my nose? What was my background looking like? Were my shoulders curved forward, or were they curved back? These are things we think about that nobody else thinks about. Have you ever taken a picture and decided, you know what, I don't like that picture. I'm not going to share that picture. it's just going to be what it is. And then you come back a few months later, you're scrolling in your phone and you see the picture and you're like, oh, that was cute. Nothing was wrong with that picture. Or you actually had pictures taken with a photographer. This happened to me back in the day before we were posting everything on social media. Not that I post everything on social media, but before that was a thing. I remember at church, it was, I think, for the church directory. I never saw the directory, by the way. But anyway, church directory years ago when I lived in Texas, and we took pictures or whatever. And when I got my pictures back, I hated the pictures. Oh my gosh, because I had an allergic reaction to something. So I had these it felt like a million things going on my chin. I was like, that's just really ruined the picture. I hate the picture. So I tucked it away. I didn't throw away the picture. Something about pictures, you just can't throw them away. I didn't throw away the picture. I just kept it in the little envelope they give it to you in and just packed it away. And it traveled all the way from Texas back to North Carolina. And it's been in like a chest where I have all these pictures from way back when. And one day I was looking through the pictures in the chest, and these pictures, I pulled the pictures out, and I'm like, you know what? There was nothing wrong with these pictures. I looked cute in the pictures. And what I thought was a whole big old breakout situation wasn't as much as I thought it was. It was there, but it wasn't anything like what I thought. I thought it was, hundreds of little bumps on my chin, but it may have been 5. This is how our mind plays tricks on us and has us thinking one thing when it's really something else. And this is how we end up talking ourselves out of doing things that make us uncomfortable, because we're the ones that critique it way too much. You would be surprised to know I don't watch the podcast episodes before I publish it. I actually watch them after they're published. I edit it, to get the beginning off if I'm, staring at the camera or had to do the beginning more than one time. I'll edit that and the ending to get the ending right, edit that at the ending, but the whole episode. I don't watch the whole episode because I know I'm going to nitpick myself. And I always want this podcast to feel like we're having a conversation. I don't want it to ever feel like I am on stage presenting to you. I want you to feel like we're in a meeting room together and discussing what's going on in our virtual assistant businesses. That's what this podcast is all about, the real side of being a virtual assistant. So that is the latest experience, and I thought it would be helpful to you as well. If nothing else, for you to know you are not the only one. Now, I have a challenge for you, as I challenge myself, and that is to show up every day uncomfortable doing your thing. That could be on your social media. That could be networking. That could be meeting new people. Something that's outside of you. Something that is more public than private. Because we can privately be uncomfortable. But does it really matter if it just, happened between you and yourself? We tend to not want to get uncomfortable and be uncomfortable publicly. The funny thing is, people probably wouldn't even know you were uncomfortable unless you said that you're uncomfortable. And as I say this to myself, actually, I do want them to publish those videos. And if I see them on social media, I'm going to come back and we'll play it here on the podcast so you can see the uncomfortableness in action, because it needs to go public, because we got to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable so we can move on to the next level. So I hope you have a wonderful and fantastic day. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to the podcast. If this is your very first time, be sure that you subscribe and come back again. If you're a regular, thank you so much for coming back and re-listening to the podcast episode, being here. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. You have a wonderful and fantastic day.